Hey, so I'm just gonna show how I got Fragment working. It took me a sec. It's not very complicated, but there just were a couple things that weren't totally clear to me. Um, so basically, if you download the server for your client, you have to have like a local server running. And my system is Jack Linux 64-bit. I'm running Pop! OS 2010, but it should be very similar to Ubuntu or whatever. So you download this, and I put it in this folder, Fragment Jack, and I'm going to run FAS, and it should tell me that it started a listener. Now, I had some problems with this. I had to look at my processes that were running, and I think maybe I tried out the one without Jack first, and that had problems. So keep that in mind. You might have to like kill the old process or something like that. So once you've got this running, if you open up anything that can do, that can like show your Jack connection route. I'm using QJack control here, but you can use whatever. There's a bunch. You can see it shows up here, and I'm not sure where it outputs. It looks like it's outputting. Well, we'll make it output to the system. Okay, so now we've got everything connected. So if you go here, the basic idea is this web app will connect to your local machine running this audio server, and it'll do stuff. And there's a couple other steps as well. So one thing I didn't realize at first is that you need a kind of, they call it splitting, like splitting the window. But this thing, you can think of it as like a listener, or like a kind of like an audio camera. Whatever passes between these two markers, whatever color, is what gets triggered and sent to the audio. And so you can make multiple little windows like that. But here, let's start with a cool one. So additive MIDI is a patch. Oh, and that's another thing. Whenever you load a patch, make sure to hit the transport. For me, it's always a pause icon, but just hit that, and that'll start your transport. So if you've got a MIDI keyboard, you can make sure it's enabled here under this icon right here. And now, whenever I hit keys on my keyboard, it like outputs stuff. But you'll notice there's no sound still, and that's because I don't have any listeners or a splitter. So if you right-click on the window, and it creates a plus, and you can move this to wherever you want. So I've got two here. One's not listening. I'll turn that one off. So you can move this anywhere, and you'll notice once it passes through this, that's when the sound comes out. So if you put it close to the front, it's right away, but if you put it out here, it's later. And you can add multiple ones, so you get kind of like an echo effect. Okay, so that's the first part. So once we get that done, there's a whole bunch of interesting examples in here. Not all of them sound great out of the box, but you can play with it. One that I really want to get working is the shader toy one. Like, it looks really cool, but it doesn't seem to make any sound. So I probably need to like modify the colors to make it, do more stuff. Um, but yeah, maybe if we change I don't know, maybe if we change a different one. I'm really not sure. I have to kind of guess what colors are gonna like do what here, so I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna work. But one that's really interesting is here. Let's open up spectral synthesis. So that one's really loud. but it's got a whole bunch of parameters that you can mess with, and so you can kind of like set the shape. I think if I set this lower, or maybe set it higher. I don't know. I'm still just learning, just playing with it. Okay, so that gives it a nice. So it looks like if I raise this number, it makes it quieter. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in here. So so one thing I noticed is this does interesting stuff. So if you put other numbers in here, you can kind of play it like. Oh, it looks like I can turn it down here too. You can also you can make it really loud, and it will, when it hits like the limit, it'll make nice like beating frequencies. There's interesting stuff in here too. Well, anyway, that's what I discovered so far. Have fun.